Hey guys, it's Jen, and it's finally time for my annual list of 2018 Holy Grails. Holy Grails are just the ultimate, my absolute favorite, the thing I've grabbed for the most for the entire year. We're gonna hit all of the different categories, and there are a lot of products, so let's go ahead and just jump right into it. I'm gonna start off with skincare, and I feel like once again, Drunk Elephant is just one of my be-all, end-all favorite skincare companies. I just find their products to work really well with my particular skin, whether it is on the extra dry side or whether it's a little oilier like I was during my pregnancy. I can just always find something that I love from them. Something that I used whether my skin was dry or oily is this luxury facial oil, their Marula oil, and this one is absolutely amazing. I feel like it just puts a lot of antioxidants in my skin. It just absorbs it really well so it doesn't feel really greasy and keeps my skin just really well hydrated and looking bright and glowy. So I absolutely love it. It has also really nice packaging with a dropper at the top. Speaking of Drunk Elephant, my favorite eye cream is this one right here. This is the C-Tango Multivitamin Eye Cream, and the reason I love this one is it does have some brightening properties from the vitamin C in it, but the texture is also really wonderful. It's not too heavy where I feel like it gives me clogged pores or milia, but it is thick enough where I feel like it really hydrates and my eyes are never dry the next morning. They just feel really well hydrated, and it's the perfect in-between thickness. Moving on to moisturizer, I have to mention this one from Tatcha. It's the water cream. It is such a beautiful, luxurious skin cream. It's best, I would say, for normal to oilier skin types because it is on the water-based side. So if you tend to be really dry, then I would go for something a little bit heavier. But for being something that is very water-based, I find it to be very hydrating. It's very similar to my previous favorite, Clinique Moisture Surge Intense, but I have to say this formula is just so beautiful and lovely. My skin drinks it up, and it works really well for layering your skincare as well. Moving on to serum, I have a new favorite. Now this one is kind of funny because this definitely did not work for my skin when it was a little bit oilier during my pregnancy, but now that I'm no longer pregnant and my skin is a little bit on the dry to normal side, I feel like it just absolutely loves this. I really found a lot of my dark spots, discoloration, having an imbalance of oils on my skin really went away after I used this. This is from Lancome. It's their Advanced Genifique Concentrate. This is a youth activating concentrate. It's just kind of this cloudy serum texture, and I really love it. I feel like I definitely see a visible difference in my skin within a couple days of using it. Next, I wanted to move on to foundations, and I have three favorites this year. I'm gonna start off with the lightest one. This is from IT Cosmetics, and it is their Bye Bye Foundation Full Coverage Moisturizer. I would say if you like the idea of a tinted moisturizer, but you really want better coverage and you have some discoloration or things that you want to cover up, this is the perfect option. There are a lot of really amazing skincare benefits in it, plus it's SPF 50. So on those days where I'm going to like a theme park or somewhere where I know I'm gonna be really active, but I still want that full coverage look, this is what I grab for. Next, my favorite light to medium coverage foundation that is extra photogenic is this one from Dior. It's their Backstage Face and Body Foundation. This one, I have to say, was such a surprise to me. From the beginning of when I used it, this just blew so many of my foundations out of the water. I was so impressed with the formula, and my favorite aspect of it is when I put it on, it just makes me look like I have perfect skin. Nobody would come up to me and say, "Oh, I love your foundation." It's not that kind of extra heavy look where it looks like you're trying too hard, and this doesn't look cakey at all. It has a pretty nice medium coverage. I still like using some concealer to spot conceal areas, but day to day, this is just the most lovely, beautiful finish. Plus, I don't feel weird wearing it on a normal day where I ordinarily wouldn't necessarily want liquid foundation because it can feel a little heavy, but this doesn't feel heavy at all. If you haven't tried this, I highly recommend at least going and picking out a sample, getting your color match, and just trying it out because I feel like this is my absolute favorite, #1, most amazing everyday foundation that I've ever found. Moving on, I wanted to mention in one last foundation. Now this is what I use for that full coverage, heavy, glam makeup look. It has a really beautiful finish and it lasts all day. This is from Lancome and it's their Idole Ultra Wear SPF 15 foundation. This is such a workhorse. It'll get me through lots of filming sessions, lots of photo shoots, anytime I want to have that really perfect on-camera look and I really need a heavy coverage. I was so happy to find this foundation because I used it once in the past and I just felt like it didn't sit on my skin quite well, and I don't know what changed. Maybe the formula's a little different, maybe it's just that I found the right color, maybe my skin type changed a little bit, but whatever it is, this has just the most beautiful look and I adore it. For this one, I used the color 270 Bisque Warm, I believe. And it's a very luxurious formula. It has a little nice pump bottle. The packaging is just stunningly beautiful and it will work perfectly for girls who want that full glam face, looking completely perfect in one color kind of skin. For setting powders, I usually just stick to my normal, typical Makeup Forever HD translucent powder and everything, but I think this year with just being so busy with the newborn and a toddler, I wanted something so fast but would leave my skin with a very natural looking finish. And so my favorite setting powder this year has been the SUPERGOOP Invincible Setting Powder. It's 100% mineral, plus it is SPF 45, so perfect for anyone who's just running around on the go, needing something to quickly set any of their makeup or touching up, getting rid of the weekday oilies. This one is just so beautiful and leaves a really nice finish. You can't even really tell that I have it on. It just sort of blurs out any of my oily areas. So I'm really enjoying this. It just has a little travel brush, so you just pop that on. The powder's at the bottom, it just goes right through, so you don't need any additional brushes, and it's so easy to keep in my makeup bag. This one is also kind of an oldie but a goodie, but I found a brand new appreciation for it this year. My favorite makeup setting spray is Urban Decay All Nighter Setting Spray, and this was originally by Skindinavia. It still is, so it's been around forever. Like literally when I first started my YouTube channel like 10 years ago, I was hearing about this makeup setting spray. It just does the job. It's actually kind of shocking how you'll do your makeup on a normal day and go about your day, and you can definitely see it run after a certain point in time, after a few hours. But on special occasions, when I need to walk a red carpet or be kind of fancy or do a lot of filming, I will use this to set my face, and I'm not kidding, hours later it looks like I just put on my makeup. So if you haven't tried it, highly recommend you try it out. If you're somebody that needs your makeup to last, or if you just really want to not touch it up as much, if you're like at work all day or school all day, try this out. I really think it's amazing. I feel like this year was such a big year of bronzing for me, and I think it's just because with the pregnancy I got so bloated, and I feel like when I got really bloated I look kind of different than I normally do, so I really embraced contouring, especially under my cheekbones here, just to sort of give my face a little more shape and definition. And my absolute favorite one, like bar none, for the size, the color, everything, I love this Marc Jacobs TANTASTIC OIMEGA Bronze. It's just amazing. It's first of all gigantic. I love using an angled concentrated brush, and you have so much space to work with, so you're never getting your brush like on the edges of it, you know? Like you can get a full amount of product in there. I put that underneath my cheeks, and then if it's a special occasion where I know there's going to be a lot of photography, sometimes I'll also use this to contour my nose. But I like it because it's not too warm, it's not too cool, it doesn't turn purplish on my skin like some bronzers do, and I feel like it's just really, really flattering. I keep one in every single makeup bag I have, which, you know, of course with me I have more than one makeup bag, but this is absolutely one of my must-have holy grails. I'm sure not just this year, but for years to come. Now, when it comes to blushes, you guys who have followed me for a while know that I love blush. I love having a lot of different options for blush. This is something that I was extra excited about this year. This is the blush book that Tarte came out with this year, and there are 10 different shades. It just already has a little piece of plastic in between, has a magnetic closure, and so I get my entire blush wardrobe, and it's easy to store in my makeup bag because it doesn't really take up that much space more than other little blush options I would have. Normally, I like having things that are really small and concise, but for blush, I like having a lot of options. This one also has a bronzer option and a highlighter option, just so you can have those on the go with you, but I like switching up my blush with my makeup each day to coordinate with my lip colors or my eyeshadow colors, and Tarte makes my favorite blushes like ever. They've been on my Holy Grail list for years in the past, and I feel like they last a long time and have such beautiful flattering shades. So this has a little bit of all of the worlds of blush that I'm really into. For eyeshadow, man, I had quite a few palettes that I was really into this year, but my number one favorite has to be Soft Glam by Anastasia Beverly Hills. It's just the perfect balance in between your regular neutral eyeshadow palettes, but it's a little bit warmer, which I think is much more flattering if you have yellow undertone skin like I do. So it has all of the browns that I would typically like, plus a highlight shade and a black, which you need for an ultimate smoky eye, but all of these in-between shades just look so beautiful on my skin. I don't really feel like there are any shades in this palette that I didn't use at all. Looking at them right now, they are all used, and I love me a good orangey reddish burgundy eye. So whether it was taking me through those bronzy summer months into the fall kind of autumn colors, this one just covered the entire year of beautiful eyeshadow shades, and I think it's gonna take a really amazing eyeshadow to ever knock this out of place in the next coming year. So cannot go without mentioning this one. You guys might laugh that I'm even including this in my Holy Grails for this year, but even if it's a super old goodie, it's still a goodie. This is from Urban Decay. It's the eyeshadow primer potion. I've hopped back and forth to a few different eyeshadow primers over the years. I really like the NARS Smudge Proof eyeshadow primer plus the Too Faced Shadow Insurance, but there's something about Urban Decay's primer potion that I just always come back to. So this is the current packaging they have, and it has a soft doe foot applicator that's quite flexible. It's like a long stick, and then it's just a soft beigey cream that goes onto the skin. When you put this on before any of your eyeshadow, any of your mascara or liner, this will keep everything in place so well. I still think compared to anything else, this is my number one eyeshadow primer. This and NARS are pretty close. They're both really good. I believe this is actually a little bit more affordable than the NARS one though, but I think it's an amazing product. I don't really see it ever becoming not a favorite of mine. I use it every single time I put on my makeup. In fact, I love this so much that when I put on eyeshadow without having a primer on first, I can actually see a huge difference just in the way that it's applied. So one of my top recommendations for makeup noobs is get you an eyeshadow primer before your eyeshadow, because that'll make all the difference in the world. Okay, moving on to brows. 2018 was such a huge year of brows for me. I feel like I really embraced having a darker, fuller brow, and I've had two favorites that are both equally amazing, just depending on what my hair color was at the time. So when I have a little more of that darker black hair vibe, I really enjoyed using this one. This is from Hourglass. It's their Arch Brow Sculpting Pencil in Soft Brunette. So this one has a little bit more brown ashy tones. If you have cooler tones in your hair and skin, I feel like this one just looks so natural and so lovely. You might look at it and think that it's not dark enough, but actually I find that if you have really dark hair, it's best to go 1 to 2 shades lighter with your eyebrows so that it's not like caterpillars on your face. And then after I dyed my hair when it was just a little bit warmer, I've been using my longtime favorite. This is the Benefit Goof Proof Brow Pencil, and it's in the shade number 3. Both of these pencils actually have a very similar tip shape and have a spoolie on the opposite end, which I think is absolutely essential for blending it in and making it look a bit more natural. But this one is the GOOFPROOF. As you can see, it's just a little bit warmer, but they're really great shades if you have naturally black or dark hair. Next, I wanted to talk about a new favorite eyeliner that I found that I've heard about a lot for about the last year or so. This is from M Cosmetics, and it's their illustrative eyeliner. This one is the kind with the felt tip at the end. I am getting to the end of the lifeline with this particular one because it's getting a little frayed at the tip, but I really love how densely black this is, and if you're monolidded, this will not smudge on you. When it's brand new, it also gives a really sharp pointed tip at the end, so it's really great if you're intimidated by doing a winged liner. It's very user friendly and it's very easy to get a sharp point. Again, especially for my monolidded girls, if you want to try out a new eyeliner, I think you should definitely check this out. I will do a little sub shout out to Kat Von D Tattoo eyeliner and my longtime favorite Stila waterproof eyeliner, because those are some standard ones that you can always depend on. They're always available at Sephora. So I will leave links to all those as well as everything else in the description down below. Next, when it comes to mascara, I have 3 favorites. I'm gonna start with this one right here. This is the SMASHBOX Full Exposure Waterproof Mascara, and this is my best all-around mascara, especially if you have short, downward pointing, curl resistant lashes like I do, and you don't want to use a lot of different mascaras at the same time. I'm a 2 mascara girl myself for my upper and lower lashes, but when I have a brand new tube of this one, I just use this for everything. Upper lashes, lower lashes, holds a curl, gives me tons of volume, and it's a really black, delicious, gorgeous kind of look. I like the full exposure line because it's very big and voluminous, I guess you would say. The brush is a big part of that. It's very thicker and chunky, and the formula has a lot of viscosity to it. It's a really thicker kind of formula, probably because it is waterproof, so it really coats all of the lashes. Next, I wanted to always mention my Urban Decay Cannonball mascara. This is a hugely long time favorite, and it will do really well if you have shorter lashes that do not hold a curl. I use this as a base on my upper lashes right after I've curled them with a lash curler to keep them up in place, especially when I'm using false eyelashes. I like to curl and set my lashes first so that it just keeps the false lashes up in place, nicely framed. But I've had so many girls tell me that this has become their favorite mascara if they're monolidded, because it will not let your lashes down. You know what I mean? Those lids, they like to push them down, but we won't stand for that, will we, Cannonball? So my third mascara favorite is actually the Outlier. It's not going to hold your lash curl, but it's one of the best voluminizing, full lash giving, lengthening mascaras on the market. This is the Marc Jacobs Velvet Noir Major Volume Mascara. I am obsessed with using this on my lower lashes. I really like finding something for my lower lashes which will make them look a lot thicker, a lot longer, and not need a lot of coats. Because if I'm gonna use a second mascara in the first place, I want it to give me the look I want with the least amount of time, and this definitely does the job. If you happen to be lucky enough to already have long, curly, upward pointing lashes, by golly goodness gracious, this would be amazing at making just the most beautiful luscious lashes ever for top and bottom. But if you're like me, not that lucky, I still love using this as a lower lash voluminizer. It's what I'm wearing today, so if you can see my lower lashes from this distance, it's doing a good job. For my lips, I have 3 favorite products. My first is from Dior, and this is probably my favorite top lip product out of anything ever, maybe for all time. But this is the Dior Addict Lip Glow. I've mentioned this in a few different favorite videos, like monthly favorite videos in the past, but it still reigns supreme. I like it in a few different colors. The one I'm holding in my hand is lilac. I'm also really obsessed with their coral shade. Plus they also have a hollow version of both of those colors, and I just think it's so wonderful if you're like me me, where you don't want to spend too much time upkeeping your lips, but you get the dry lips. Just want something that feels like lip balm, looks a little more colored than lip balm. It just looks so classy and beautiful and kind of lighter weight to keep in your purse, so it's not like weighing everything down. It just gives the most beautiful, flattering, lovely wash of color that goes on a lot of different ranges of skin tones that I've ever used, and it doesn't have to take much of a rocket scientist to be able to apply and still look good. So if you're on the run, this is my favorite thing to keep in my purse. A little step up from that one, it feels a little bit more like a lipstick but still feels really nice and hydrating. This is my favorite lipstick from YSL. This is the Volupte Tint-In-BALM. It's kind of the same idea, but it has a little more pigmentation. Instead of that tint that adjusts to your skin, this is more of a lipstick with a balm-like feeling. This shade is, I think this is shade number 1, but it's just a really nice neutral shade that you can wear every single day. Not to mention, my gosh, these YSL lipsticks, if you have not smelled, they smell so good. Basically, the only other kind of lipstick I even used this year are matte liquid lipsticks to give a really poppy lip kind of look, or just a neutral color that I want to last all day. I like things that are low maintenance. Once I put it on, I don't really want to reapply anything throughout the day, so that's why I like my balms or liquid lipsticks. But my one caveat with liquid lipsticks is quite a lot of them just suck the life out of your lips and make them feel so dry, but that is not the case with this one. This is from BAREMINERALS and it is in the shade Fire. BAREMINERALs has a few different products that have this same kind of packaging, but this has a little bit of a frosted to glossy package. The frosted ones are the ones that have the matte finish. I love this shade. It's a really beautiful orangey red, which I love rocking. It just makes such a classy statement, and it makes my lips still feel almost like plush and cushiony. So it is dry, but it's not drying, if that makes sense. I love it. So I guess that is about it for all of my 2018 favorites. I really hope you guys enjoyed this. It's literally one of my favorite videos that I do in the entire year because I get to recommend everything across the board, which is really helpful when people are like, oh, so what are your favorites? I just direct them to these videos. So if you found it helpful, please help me out. Give this video a thumbs up so that other people can find it as well, and let your friends know about what these recommendations are if some of them are your favorites too. Leave me a comment down below, by the way, if there's something that you feel like I missed. Like if there was a huge favorite this year that you absolutely couldn't live without and I did not mention it. I would love to know because I'm all about trying new favorites, new recommendations, and testing it out as well. If you're not already subscribed to this channel, please subscribe. And if you want to check out my previous years of Holy Grails videos, I'll leave a link to a few of those in the description box as well. I love you guys, and I will see you in the next one. Happy 2019. Bye.